Welcome to How Do You Say Yaros?
Good morning or evening, wherever you are driving.
It is great to be
Or
with you,
listening.
or whatever. We're bathing, shampooing a child,
Oh.
delousing a puppy.
Aw,
Yeah, that's sad
that's
actually.
nice. Oh, really? What's delousing mean?
Getting rid of the lice.
Oh, snap. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
you're not doing that.
Or maybe you are. Our friend Chris is saving people from the fiery escapes of death.
What?
He was the guy that gave the idea for the hammock podcast.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah. He's a firefighter.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
we're
Chris-
happy to join you wherever you are.
Thank you for being a first responder, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, America, yes. But on today's episode, we are talking about a controversial series of topics here. This has been a question that's been going through my mind. I've crowdsourced this a little bit, and then Gabby and I have been talking about it because it's a
I
fun
didn't
one.
know you had crowdsourced.
I didn't really talk with a lot of people
Okay.
about it, but I just I've been throwing this idea. There's a couple questions that have been in my mind recently, and this is one of them. Things that people say are amazing or exceptional, but in reality are just okay. So something people really hype up, like this is the best thing ever. And in reality, it is good. We're not throwing junk at these brands. We are not throwing crap at whatever this is.
No, not at all.
It's still a good product, but it's just not as good as everybody says it is.
In our opinion.
Yeah, in our opinion.
Yeah.
Other people could logically disagree, and we respect that. But it's just for us, it's meh.
Not up to the hype.
Yeah, it's
So,
yeah.
What
yeah.
is not up to the hype according to your opinion?
For me?
Adam. Yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
I want to defend it. Be fair to Starbucks because I've talked with others, and there's been one great point in the defense of Starbucks.
Yeah.
It is super consistent. Friend Will, and he has made a great point about it. Wherever he goes in the world and orders a drink at Starbucks, he expects that he will get that same exact drink, and he will.
Oh,
So,
wow.
it's
Okay,
just
that's impressive.
there's a consistency among those things where, say, Dunkin' is extremely inconsistent. So it's just that fairness with it, and in those ways. Actually, that looked like Will's minivan for a second. I was like, oh, are we actually going to pass him?
That
That'd be
so
very
cool.
funny. But otherwise, it's I've enjoyed Starbucks. I've gone. But I think it's a little overpriced.
Yeah.
And I think the drinks are just okay. I know that the coffee connoisseurs will hate me for it, but Wawa is just as good.
Wow.
Yeah, except
Wawa is just as good. Wow. Okay.
except Wawa has blueberry cobbler coffee.
Wow, that's true. You love that.
I do.
Yeah, and I would say to your point too, because I think if someone offered me Starbucks, I would say thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Very
I will
generous,
enjoy it.
very kind.
And I do enjoy Starbucks. I just think the extent to which people give so much money to Starbucks and are so I have to get Starbucks every day.
Yeah.
That piece, that's where I'm I think that's overhyped because it is very convenient and all that. But if a Starbucks was next to a Cuban coffee place, I think I would go to the Cuban coffee place every time. So
that's fair.
There's that. I just don't think it's worth all that hype. Again, solid. But yeah. Okay, so any other food ones that you can think of?
I've got a second one here.
Mm-hmm.
Chick-fil-A.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
crazy because you say you love Chick-fil-A.
I do, but I don't think it's as great. There is a cult following with Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
that it's not deserving of.
I don't know about that.
Okay, you would disagree? Interesting.
I don't know. Well, okay. I do think Chick-fil-A, it's for what it is, I don't know. I think it has earned its hype. I think that it's worth the hype. They have a wide variety of things. Their quality is really good.
That is true.
So I don't know. That one's tough. What are you what do you think is not worth it? Or,
I think
not
I think
up to
it's
the hype?
very good.
Yeah.
So that's where I'll be fair.
It's
I
very
go to
good.
Chick-fil-A. I go to Chick-fil-A fairly often. I really do enjoy it. But I think where people say swoon and say I would do anything and kind of die, and we hear this.
Yeah.
I think it's just a bit too much. It is a good
Yeah,
chicken
interesting.
sandwich.
Yeah.
It deserves my money. I have no shame on it. I am working my way up the hierarchy. I have ambitions to get to the premier level of rewards. But I'm just
Okay.
saying, okay, the attitude taken of a cult-like love
Yes.
for this, I don't think it's there.
And people crave it.
I don't think...
I don't I don't crave it.
Yeah, I would gladly go once a week for the rest of my life. No questions, no qualms.
Well, that's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think some of the ways that people talk about it, I just don't think it's I think this is unrealistic for this food product. It is a great product.
Yeah.
It's just overhyped. That being said, yet again, I love this food. I'd eat it once a week. But talking about craving or the level of excitement I see when people say we're going to Chick-fil-A is unrealistic in my mind.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
What you got?
I would say, okay, so I don't know if this fits. I think it fits the bill just like in a little different way. So I'm going to say teaching.
Ooh, that's bold.
I know. It's a little bit weird to say. Okay, I think teaching is a fantastic profession. I have many friends and family who are teachers, and I think it's a great profession to do. I thought about being a teacher. I actually started the process of like applying for Teach for America when I was in college, and then I got to the second round when you had to actually do a lesson for them.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds terrible. I can't create a lesson. That is exhausting. So I stopped with the teaching process. But so I think teaching is an amazing profession. But my issue with teaching, that people, you know what people always say, if you're a teacher, I've seen people do this, and they do this to me too because I work in a school. They always say to people, oh my gosh, do you like love being a teacher? Do you just love it? Do you just like love it? You know?
Okay, I gotcha.
It's so funny. Like, people will say that, and they'll almost like, and then they'll be like, yeah, like, do you just like wake up every morning ready to teach? Like, so excited.
Yeah.
So excited every day for work, and you just love your job. And, you know, when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life. You know, that whole, like, they go really hard with that with teaching. And I think people do it because they, you know, when you go into teaching, you're not doing it because you want to make a lot of money. You do, in fact, enjoy imparting education to people and working with kids, probably, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
I just think it's overhyped in that way, because teaching is a great profession. There are also many other great professions.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it is a job.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
you know, when people say that, you're like, yeah, like, okay, I like what I do, but I also like to be off work and be with my family. Like, you know?
I could see that.
So that's where I always think, like, that's a little bit, I feel like that's unfair to say to a teacher. So that they almost feel like less than when they, you know, if they happen to say, like, actually, you know, I get really tired at work sometimes, and, you know, I'm a little overwhelmed, and it's actually really hard, you know? Like,
Okay, yeah.
I don't
get
think
what
you
you're
have
saying.
to, you know, just because it's a good profession, I don't think you have to say, like, I love it every day, and I'm so excited. Every day I wake up at 5 a.m., like, raring to go. Like, that's
Well, I mean,
overhyped.
everybody should be. Why is anybody waking up after 5?
Of course.
It's a waste of a day.
That's Adam's world. Adam's world.
If you're waking up post 5 o'clock on any day, including days off, you have no reason to do.
Oh, you
why
just
are
made me think of another thing that's overhyped.
Oh, are you gonna say waking up early?
Yes.
Oh, go for it. You go with that. I want immediately responding to this.
No. So I'm gonna say overhyped. People overhype like the benefit of waking up like at crazy early times.
Define crazy early.
Before 6 a.m. I think is crazy early. I think that's fair.
If you're on the podcast here, you cannot tell the look of disgust that came over my face.
Well, Adam typically wakes up before 6, and that's fine. I'm saying that's fine. Again, we're not saying these things are bad. I'm just saying it's a little overhyped, because when you have people who wake up early, they feel like they need to tell everyone that this is the only way to live. This is the best way. They're like, they think they've found the secret to success, okay? You listen to these celebrities that are like, they get up at 4 a.m., they do their workout, I don't even know, all the stupid, whatever.
Notice how much they get done in a year, though.
Whatever. They have like 1,000 assistants. That's why they get all that stuff done in a year.
Nobody can work out for you.
Yeah. So they say like, oh, you know, the secret to success is they, you know, wake up at 4 a.m., they do all this stuff, and they're done by 10 or something, right? And then they have their work day or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. I think that's a little, people go real crazy acting like the secret to success is like waking up at these crazy hours when no other human is awake to interact. So you're just waking up so you can do all these things before other people wake up, which is fine, but that's what it is.
And how much more productive, yet again, going to the amount of work that these people get done.
Well, so that's what I would say. What do you think about it?
I mean, I would counter. I mean, I love waking up early because I get so much done by 6 o'clock.
Right, you do. You do. It's true.
There is like, so for my life, at least where it is, I get so many things that if I didn't do this at this time, it would actually negatively affect the rest of my life, because I don't have another time of the day I would be able to work out.
Right.
with consistently without sacrificing.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. So that
I think
do.
waking up early is not. I think that there's a lot of benefit to that. I don't actually think waking up early is overhyped. I'm making the caveat that waking up insanely early.
With
like-
5 o'clock.
Or some of these people do like before 5 a.m. like wake up calls, do all this. I just think people overhype that a little bit.
Oh man, I living that life, I just don't think it's hyped enough. I honestly think it's the greatest change in my life.
I love it. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. Should we transfer to things that we think
It's a low blow.
or no?
I was gonna say staying up past 10 o'clock is overhyped. But this is me being reactionary here.
I think it's wonderful how early you wake up, Adam. I think it's wonderful.
Maybe it's best to transfer. Ford Mustang Mach-E.
I love it. Okay.
Beautiful vehicle. Not as good as a Tesla, though.
Oh, do we want to say, wait, before we go to
Or
the next
if you
one.
say Tesla, this is gonna hurt.
No. Any locations that are overhyped. Because
Oh.
we're going to talk about things that are...
Oh my gosh, I feel like there's one
the
on the
flip
tip
of
of
it.
my tongue here. New York City.
Oh, New York City, overhyped?
Yeah. Here's yet again. We live close to New York, so we're not like
We do, yeah.
We are
live
not
in New Jersey.
Yeah, we don't pretend that we're there every weekend, but
No.
but we're there a chunk throughout a year, like a number of times.
Yeah.
Not, I wouldn't say double digits,
No.
but like single digit, but high single digits. I
Yeah.
think that's fair.
Yep.
And it's great, it's cool, but it still is dirty.
Agreed.
It still
It smells.
There's a lot of crowding.
Yep.
The food is good, but honestly, I don't think it's any better than any other place in the world where you could get things that aren't mainstream,
Totally agree.
and the price is really high. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Everything's so expensive.
If I was 22 and had a good job in the city, all about that life.
Not me.
Yeah.
See, like if I was gonna live in a city, it's just I wouldn't choose New York.
Oh, yeah, that's true
No.
too.
And I agree with you. I actually think because people are so like New York is so iconic, and people get also we live in Jersey, so people get really into the Philly versus New York, like which is because in Jersey when you say you want to go to the city this weekend or whatever,
Yeah.
everyone's like, well, which is the city? Like
Yeah.
who gets to own that term because it's Philly or New York?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think New York is overhyped too. Like I agree with all the reasons you said. I think so.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna, as you said, if you're gonna want an experience of living in a city, I just think there are so many other cities that would be awesome.
Oh, what would your
Safer, cleaner.
alternative be?
Well, I would want like I got to study abroad in Sevilla, Spain, so like I would definitely choose that city. But I wouldn't legit choose that for like a really long time because that's far away from family. But if I had to
Gotcha.
live in a city, I would choose that. It's so much cleaner, great food.
That's reasonable.
Yeah. So that what city would you choose?
I think I'd go back to South Africa.
There you go. So okay,
Yeah.
I guess we're going abroad for cities.
Yeah.
To be fair, we have never lived long term in a city in the States.
No,
We're saying this because those are the cities we've lived in.
Yep.
So that is fair.
That Kabul, Afghanistan could be fun.
I don't know, never been there.
I would not recommend that right now. There's a lot of violence.
Okay, so maybe not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I guess we have to explore some more cities.
Yep.
No. So okay, so if that's what we're saying for things that we think receive a ton of hype and don't actually merit all that. They're actually not as good as the hype. They're good, but not as good as people say. So what about we want to talk about any places that receive a ton of hype, but we actually think that they have earned that hype. That's legit.
That's real. All right, you go first.
Immediate thought is Disney. When
Ooh.
you talk, when you say hype and like, is it like real? Is it real? Yes.
Yeah,
Disney World.
Beyond fair in all of this. I think that's just Disney is awesome. I think anybody that says otherwise is probably deranged.
Or they just have never been, or something.
Or they have just no soul. It's like the Dementors have sucked it out of them.
Oh wow, they have no light in them. Yeah. I think like we had gone to Disney a lot when I was younger, and then when we went back the first time as me being an adult, I remember thinking, it's not going to be as good, right?
You're
You're going to walk in, it won't be as good. And then I walked into Magic Kingdom, and it was so beautiful. I was like, yes, it's still as beautiful as I thought.
I'll give a little
would you
pushback
say?
on this here.
Yeah.
So I will say, I know we've talked many times, and you guys, we have a whole podcast on this. I think Harry Potter World, just as hyped as it can be, could not be better than what it is. Or I'm sure it can be improved, and I know Universal always is. I think that holds up in every way. I'm like a little kid.
Absolutely.
I would push back on Magic Kingdom.
Oh, wow, really?
I've not been to the other parks recently, so I don't know if that's fair.
Oh.
But I would say Magic Kingdom. Now, here's where. I think it is so cool and amazing. So it's not just okay. That's not, I'm comparing it to like Starbucks where it's like, it's just, it is amazing.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting closer to a borderline with me.
Oh, man.
Because here's where. I think I remember it a little too well. Because it has not changed since I was a littler kid. And I feel like they are in need of some serious updates there.
Okay.
Not of Cinderella's castle, which is amazing. Like, I'm not saying all the iconic things, but okay, like Tomorrowland.
Okay.
Does not feel like we've arrived in the Tomorrow when that was built, and it's not like that. They are putting in the new Tron roller coaster, so great respect there.
Yeah, for sure.
And the same way with like even Splash Mountain and like Adventureland and Frontierland, it feels dated.
I hear you.
It's still really cool, and I know they're working to change those, but I feel like this needs some love.
Very interesting. I would say another thing that is receives a lot of hype, and it was like this since we were in college as well, and I do think it merits the hype, is study abroad.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
Yep. But I would say with the caveat, like, I do think sometimes when people hype up, like, you need to study abroad, you need that experience. I do think there's a little bit of, what is that? Red glasses? What's the rosy glasses?
Rose-colored glasses.
Rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do think there's a little bit of that because for me, I do think study abroad was a big challenge. Like, I think it was really hard to be away from family, and you're living in a foreign country. If you happen to be one of the people trying to learn another language, like, I think there's a lot of challenges to overcome. And I think that was wonderful for me. Like, I got closer to God with that because I really just had to seek God to do that because you're by yourself. And so I think there's a ton of benefit, spiritually, but also growing just, with the language and with cultures, and you get to see a lot of things, and there are things you can do study abroad that you just can't do in another place. So I think it has all that just as much benefit as people say, but I would only say sometimes I feel like I don't want to mislead students where they think they're going into something that's just going to be like cake. And so I always say it is so worth it. It's as worth it as people say. You should value it and do it, but it is going to be hard.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. And I feel like that's a better nuance of like, okay, and I'm also naturally suspect of like, I mean, I think Gabby and I both are of like, okay, maybe we're a little cynical, but like, okay, if you're telling me everything's good with no faults in it whatsoever, okay, nothing is that good. Like, even the best things in the world, okay, there's caveats, there's challenges with it, and there are. So it's like, okay, something's hidden from us on here. I did study, I guess an internship abroad, study abroad, whatever that would be called, and absolutely loved it. Very challenging, different cultures, you're alone, but still such a great experience. Definitely recommend it. But I think that's a fair, like, okay, it could still live up to all that hype, but also giving a realistic expectation with it too. Yeah.
Can you think of any other ones that, they get all this hype, but we agree. It is legit.
Oh, man, I can't. I'm drawing a blank. Do you have any more?
I think I actually just thought of one more is sandals.
You're talking to... I thought you were talking about footwear. Yeah. Sandals
Double
Resort.
Meaning, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, it really could have gone either way.
That's
because
hilarious.
I'm wearing Chacos right now, and they are... that's not what we're going to go on. I would say Chacos live up to the hype.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely, they're amazing.
Adam Wood, he loves Chacos.
I do, but Sandals Resort is what...
Yes.
Yeah. Caught me off guard for a second.
Sandals Resort, because, the promotions and the advertisements say they're so amazing and all that stuff. I do. It was also my first ever experience at an all-inclusive resort.
Yeah, it was...
So I have that bias, maybe. But, oh, man.
It would be, I've got to tell you, I agree so much. It would be, maybe we have to do more of those, and if we have to, we have to. It really was such an excellent experience. We did it for a honeymoon. The food was great. The service was great. The resort was great. really would seem hard to not say.
Yeah, that is not
Yeah.
worth it. That it's not as they say. I do think
Yeah,
that's-
yeah, it would be. I think there are great. The biggest challenge with it is the price because it's an expensive place.
Yep.
But if you could overcome that factor in it, it does. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It lives up to it.
Yeah,
It does.
yeah. 10 out of 10.
Woo!
Well,
All right.
thanks for joining us. Let us know what you think is just okay when the world says it's all great. And you can email us at howdoyousayyaris@gmail.com. Follow me, Adam Yaris, at Adam Yaris on Instagram, and that would also get you to Gabby too.
Yay!
Thanks. Bye.